الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، حياكم الله my sisters. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah you're all well, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our meeting and discussion and make it beneficial for all of us. Allahumma ameen. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. So preparing this topic, educating Muslim children, was not the easiest thing, and that's because I had to choose which bits to share and which bits not to share because of the time. So to make it beneficial, to make it a good reminder within a limited time we have, I'm hoping for maximum 1 hour, like we finish by 10 p.m. So I had to choose what to talk about, what not to talk about, but the topic is very, very important and very, very big as well. So I started thinking about it in this way, whether it's educational time or reminder time. If we think about it in an educational way, it is really big. But then I tried as much as possible to make it as a reminder and as a help, to help you to see better what is it, why you have the challenge you have when you're raising your children. Where is the source? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to which is best. Allahumma ameen. So we start inshallah with the purpose of this discussion to start with. First, and this first point, and I can tell from what mothers speak to me about, and how they are concerned about raising their children. But at the same time, there are a lot of changes and a lot of circumstances that doesn't make their job easy. So I want to give them good news, which is educating a Muslim child is one of the most honorable things you could ever do. Why is that? Because you are raising a Muslim that only worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knows how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And what can be more honorable than that? At the time or within the years and the days and the months and the challenge and the patience, at the end of that, you have a Muslim daughter or a Muslim son that hears the adhan and go to pray. That if someone tell them, take this stone to protect you, they'll say, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who protects me. That if someone tell them to go to a place and they know there is something displeasing to Allah in the place, they will say, no, I'm a Muslim, I don't enter this place. So raising a Muslim child is a big job for sure, but it's a very honorable one. Another reason for this is that most of parents don't have Islamic knowledge. And I'm saying that again, and I'm sorry to know it, but we have to understand the problem, we have to see it real. Most of Muslim parents, because of lack of their Islamic knowledge, they don't raise their children Islamically to start with. And then at a certain age, most of the time when they are teenagers, then the conflict starts between eventually what they want them to do and to be, and how they raise them to start with. So because of that, again, this topic is very, very important and need your attention. Third reason why the challenges Muslim parents face. What is the source? Where does it come from? Why their children are not committed to Islam? Why they want to do other things? I receive questions about daughters and sons at a certain age, like finishing their basic education and going to college, and they start saying, I don't want to be Muslim. I don't want to be raised like that. I don't want. And of course, through the discussion, we may put our fingers maybe why this happens, but as well how to deal with it when it happens, when it starts showing up, when our daughter saying, no, I don't want to memorize Quran. No, this is too much. Or the son doesn't want to respect Islam in his manner. And why does he do that? So this is mainly the thoughts behind this discussion. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it beneficial. Allahumma ameen. We start, Bismillah. Some of the coming points, I will ask for your interaction and I will wait for it because it's very, very important. Others, I will go swiftly as much as I can between the points. So in the parts that we need to engage and we need to respond, please do. May Allah make it easy for us. Ameen. So what is it that you have to do as a Muslim parent? How do you raise Muslim children? How this happens? So there are two, the journey has two steps. First, before the child. Why do you want to have children? Why do you want to have children? So now we're going to pause. I'm going to turn off or pause the slideshow for a second and ask you, before having children, of course, maybe you're still about to have, or maybe you already did. But why is it you wanted to have children? Is that clear for you? I'm going to share two things. First, the hadith and a verse from the Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam built the ship and wanted to save all his family. But then when he called for his son, what happened? Did the son listen to Nuh alayhi salam? Now, if you can, help me with the text, please. So what happened? Nuh alayhi salam built the ship. Nuh alayhi salam stayed calling and inviting people for Islam 950 years. So he stayed calling people for Islam, not a year or two, not a decade or two, not even 100 years, 950 years. 950 years. And after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to build the ship. He wanted to save all the family. Some of you here said to my question, did the son listen? He didn't listen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, like exactly how it happened. Nuh alayhi salam is on the ship. He's calling the son. And the son is saying, I'm going to hide in a mountain. And the mountain will help me or secure me or save me from the water. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the waves came between them, like as they're speaking and he's calling, come, come. The waves came between, so he was from those who were punished by drowning. Then Nuh alayhi salam had a question about that. He turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not like to ask why it happened, but he wanted to understand how. Like, it isn't my son from my family. How come he wasn't saved? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered it, and this is now back to the intention. You have to pay attention to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nuh alayhi salam. He said, Ya Nuh, innahu laysa min ahlik. He is not from your family. Why? He said, innahu amalun إنه عمل غير صالح. He is a deed that is not good. The son is a deed that is not good. So not only that he did bad things, but as whole, he become a deed. And this is what I'm trying for you to pay attention here too. Your child as a whole is a deed. You are putting effort, you're putting patience, or sometimes you're putting mistakes, but that is all molding to a deed. See, so my question now, and try to help me with the answer. Why you want or you wanted to have children if you already did? Okay, so try, like, mention the reason, like before having your children, if you already did, why you wanted to have children. I'll wait. One of my sisters answered. Okay. She said, it's not about having the intention. I just love children. I wanted to have a Muslim family. Okay. Sandy. So you wanted to raise a child and show them love and teach them their deen. Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. I want children to live as sadaqa jariyah. Okay, mashallah. Jazakallah khairan for sharing. So your intention, which is I want to raise a Muslim child. I want my child to be, you see, the regular, usual question that children get asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? A Muslim parent have that intention. I want my child to be close to Allah. I want my child to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want my child to say La ilaha illallah, to follow the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to call other people to the deen with his action and with his or her, of course, with their action, with their manners. Okay, I'll share now with you something. You will be surprised to know it. Maybe you already do. But many years back, about 8 years ago, I attended a lecture about education. It wasn't about educating Muslim children. It was just about education and how they prepare teachers in general. And you'll be amazed on how the philosophy is, and that philosophy or system to raise children and to educate them in schools is different from country to country. The lecturer mentioned that, for example, if there is a country that their main source of living or they thrive on farming, then they have to educate their children mainly on farming. Yes, they will teach them other things, but they have to continue preparing farmers, because this is how the part of the earth that they are in encourages the farming. If they have, for example, problems, maybe they have challenges, then they have to prepare a child. So the education system is to prepare a child that's able to solve these problems. You see, so the lecturer put it as they look for the product. What is it? Which child you want them to, when they are 20 years old, 25 years old, what do you want them to do after they graduate from that education system? So it's already planned. Even if you don't plan it yourself, it's already planned for you. For example, you put your child in a certain school. The school already has a plan. This plan is following a main theme to prepare children to be, and you can complete the sentence, according to where you are, the problems that this country have, the nature that this country has, and so on. It could be prepare children to be workers. It could be to prepare them to be employees. It could be to prepare them, as we said, to be farmers, to be doctors, according to what is this country thrive on. They encourage the system, the education system, to follow that theme. So at the end, the child will, high chance, work to serve this country in this way. So that, again, the intention. So whether you have the intention for your child or not, somebody else does. And that is really important. So your intention as a Muslim parent, I want my child to memorize Quran. I want my child to call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, can they be doctors? Yes, they can. Can they be engineers? They can. But they don't leave the Quran. They don't leave their manners. And you're going to see in a second why is that. I'm going to share with you hadith, and it will explain to you why I have this tree in the corner here after a few minutes. What is the intention to have the children? So if you're about to have children, then have the intention from now. If you had them already, then refine your intention, and inshallah, I'll give you a few ideas. Okay. Next point, the du'as. Again, we're still before having the child. رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. This is dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam. I will share with you in a second. And before having the child, both parents read this dua, and the Prophet ﷺ promised something upon reading this dua. Allahumma jannibna ash-shaytan wa jannib ash-shaytan ma razaqtana. Oh Allah, jannibna ash-shaytan. Like, keep the shaitan away from us, and keep the shaitan away from what you provide for us, like the child you're going to give us. Your child is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your child is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the proof? When Ibrahim alayhi salam made dua, he said, Habli, hab. Can you see this word, hab, on the screen? Hab is like hiba, which is gift. Oh my Lord, gift for me, like give me as a gift from you, salihin. Who is a salih? A salih is a person who does good work, that the good work fixes around them and mends around them. Sincerity is there. So when you see a sincere deed coming from a sincere person, it's like you want to do like it. So you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a salih. Okay, you tell me, maybe I didn't do this dua when I had my children, or the other dua. Then what is the solution now? What should I do? I tell you, the second one you can't reverse, because it has to be before the child is here. But the first one you still can call, oh Allah, habli min as-salihin, make my children salih. So now let's share the hadith and the verse, so you have a reference when you want to look at. So this is the dua. This dua is when, before having the child, Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna ash-shaytan wa jannib ash-shaytan ma razaqtana. Allahumma Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna ash-shaytan wa jannib ash-shaytan ma razaqtana. As you can see, riwayat al-Bukhari. Of course, you can quickly take a screenshot if you want to go back to the hadith later. And I will share now with you the hadith that has, what is the consequence of saying that? The consequence of saying that, Muhammad ﷺ promised that if you have a child after saying the dua, shaitan will never harm him or her. That child that you're going to have, after reading this dua, no, the shaitan will not harm them. This can you see here, Bukhari and Muslim. What does Bukhari and Muslim mean? This hadith is highly authentic. It's like there is no doubt or misinterpretation. If you read the dua before having your child, this would happen. Shaitan doesn't harm them. It's like you're giving them, with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protection. Before even you know you're going to have or not, right? But you're intending to have. And you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift. رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Now look at the dua from Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam said, رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. This is a verse in Surah Al-Saffat. This is verse number 100. Verse number 100, Surah Al-Saffat. So the first word after this, after رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَبَشَّرْنَاهُ بِغُلَامٍ حَلِيمٍ. Because he asked for Salihin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him bushra, not with any ghulam, with any child or a boy. This ghulam is Halim. Who knows this word, Halim? I can open for you the understanding too, but let me see if you know Halim. What does Halim mean? Okay, Halim can mean kind. Before I show you, from Hilm. Okay, what does Hilm mean? Hold oneself is more patience or sabr. That's sabr. That's not Hilm. Hilm and sabr are different. Okay, one of my sisters said forbearing. They don't rush the punishment. Ahsanti. A person who is Halim, not quick to punish. Ahsanti. A person who is Halim, something you did wrong to them, they don't do anything about it, and they give you another chance, and they don't even mention it to you, and they give you another chance, and they give you another chance. Maybe after the 10th time they will say, by the way, this has been happening for a while. But this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for him that which kind of salah, which kind of righteousness he has in his child, because he asked from Salihin. So can you still do that? Can you still say, oh Allah, Rabbi habli min as-salihin, make my children salih. Rabbi habli min as-salihin. Okay. So then why, remember when I told you raising a Muslim child is an honorable thing. What is, and why do I have the tree in the presentation? Now let me show you about the tree. First, this is Hadith Sahih al-Bukhari. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is a tree among the trees that is similar to the Muslim. You see, the tree is like a Muslim. And then he said, it is the, look here, what? An-nakhlatu, a tree like a Muslim. It is an-nakhlatu. This is one hadith, but let me show you another one. In this hadith, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu was present with other of the Sahaba, and they're all older than him in a situation. And the Prophet ﷺ is giving them a question, like for them to think about. So he said, there is a shajara, there is a tree, that the leaves of that tree never fall. And it is like the mu'min. So in one hadith, he said Muslim, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in another hadith, he said it's like a mu'min, it's like a believer. So which one is it? So he was wanting now for them to think about and tell him which tree is it. So Abdullah ibn Umar, which he was the youngest, there hearing the question, thought it was the palm tree, but he didn't say anything. Why? Because he's shy that all the people older than him are there. So he's waiting to hear the answer. Although he thought, and this is what he's saying, he thought it was the palm tree, but he felt shy to say. Then the Prophet ﷺ said the answer. But his father, after Like he told his father later that he knew the answer. He said, if you just had said that, like you saying that to answer the Prophet ﷺ, the right answer is more beloved to me than this and this and that. Like he started listing for him things. So what do we conclude? You see here, of course, a situation of a father and a son, right? But at the same time, you get something about the palm tree. What is special in the palm tree that the Prophet ﷺ is saying it's like the mu'min, like the believer, or like the Muslim? What is so special in the palm tree? There are 4 things special in the palm tree, but let's see if you can get few. So raising, but strong roots. أصلها ثابت. It has a very firm origin, very firm roots. It's not easy to be knocked down. It's not easy to fall. Firm roots, right? What else? One of the other things the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in this hadith. The food, or not only always green, the leaves don't fall off it. You know, it's if you observe the tree through the season, any tree through the seasons, you will find that most of the trees, especially in fall, what happens? The leaves fall off them, right? And then they come back in the spring. The palm tree is not like that. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the leaves don't fall. So it's always there. It always has, it's always green. It's always ahsanti. It gives the dates, one of us said, it gives the dates, and the date is food all year long. One more thing, so mashallah, you mentioned almost everything. One more thing that the Prophet, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Maryam, when Maryam was radiallahu anha was directed to shake the trunk of the palm tree, so the rutab, the food from the tree, will be her food. So شجرة النخلة is a شجرة مباركة طيبة, blessed tree, طيبة tree. So now look, see the beautiful things you said about the nakhla. You see what did the Prophet ﷺ compare? Not compare the nakhla to, compared what to the nakhla, or compare the nakhla to who? Or you see the beautiful, to the Muslim, ahsanti. So you're not raising only a doctor or an engineer or someone to be famous somewhere, or to no, you're raising someone, a son or a daughter, that will continue to benefit others. They have a strong roots. They always have barakah with them wherever they go. Subhanallah. So that's why raising a Muslim is an honorable job, is something you need to take with honor, with patience, with sabr. We're going to talk about sabr in a minute. So back to our flow. So this is before you have the child. Then what happens after that? I already had my child. What happens after that? Islam teaches you to do other things too. When the child is born, you read the adhan in his or her ears. You do the tahniq, which is taking a piece of tamra or date and chew on it a little bit, and then just put it in like inside their mouth and take it out. The Prophet ﷺ did that. To choose a good name for them, to shave the hair and then weigh it, and then do aqiqah for them if you can afford. But the adhan and the tahniq, and choose a good name, and even shaving the hair, all can do. What else? The dua that they become salih, and it's the dua of the Prophet. That's why I told you, even if you missed the dua before, inshallah, my sister, you still can do now. And do right now. رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Third, some parents, in order to have the child listening to them, they would scare them from things, from the darkness, from a cat, from another family member. If you don't do this, he will come and he will yell at you. Or if you don't do that, she will do this to you. Because they want the child to sleep when they want them to sleep. They want the child to listen when they want them to. They start scaring them with something. Don't do that. Okay. Then, this is important, this next bit, because I saw it through your answers when filling the form. Some of you mentioned about other family members, that because your children are around them, they don't listen to you and they listen to them. You see, but actually you need to allow your children to mix with the family anyway. Even if you think that some family members, their teaching is not the same teaching like you do. You see, why is that? Why? Why do you still are encouraged not to isolate your child and to allow them to mix with family member or members that maybe they don't have the same teaching, like you're trying to raise your child in a certain way and they are encouraging a different way. When Muslim children were raised in Medina, they had around them so many things. They had around them people from different beliefs, people who were not Muslims at all, and they were not isolated. They grow up knowing what Islam is and how to say, no, this is not from Islam and this is from Islam. So as long as you continue to teach them, they will always come back. And this is now the question that, again, many of you asked. What do I do when they stop listening to me? We're coming to that in a second, but because now we have an occasion to talk about it too. What do I do when my daughter doesn't want to learn? What do I do when they say we are extreme and they are tired of the way we're making them or providing for them to live? What do I do with that? I tell you, it will change. It will not stay like that. But this is a challenge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in that place to be responsible for raising and educating these children for a reason. You have the strength to do it. If you don't have the strength to do it, do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it obligation for you, will give it to you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us what is the best for us. So you have now your child, and your child is giving you a big challenge. That is actually to tell you, you have the way to contain that challenge and to fix the problem little by little, but you cannot give up. You cannot say, why all the children are like this and my child is like that. That's comparison. If you fall into the comparison, it's shaitan. So shaitan make you feel tired and impatient and that you don't know what to do anymore, feeling despair, feeling, why do I have to carry this? No, you're not. As a Muslim, you're not supposed to say, why do I have to carry this? As a Muslim, you say, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put me in charge. Oh, Allah, guide me to do what's best. So here, because we're talking about the Muslim and exposing them and not isolating them, exposing them to Muslim families, to their grandparents, to their aunties and uncles. You say, but the others are not educating them in the same way. Tell you, okay, but you're still there. The best time to teach your child is before they go to sleep. You put them to sleep, you read the dua and the adhkar with them, and then you tell them, what do you think of what happened today when your cousin did this? You think it was right? And discuss and talk and let them tell you what they think about it, and then tell them what you think about it. Okay. So allow them to mix. More, there is a lot more. A lot more about how you not allow them to see each other, for example, showering. More about you being fair to them. More about that you have to understand that they are mirroring, you like it or not, what you do. So if you tell me my daughter is on the phone all day and doesn't want to attend Quran class, I will ask you, what do you do when you're free? Are you on your phone? If you say yes, then what are you expecting? You see? If you are in your free time, calling them to do something together, to read a book, to do something with you in the kitchen, in the backyard, then in their free time, this is what they're going to do. But if they see you talking to someone or on your computer or on the phone in your free time, this is what you're telling them, this is what you should do. Although you would take their phone away and you tell them this is not right, and you had a lot of screen time, but then they will tell you, but what about you? Right? When is the limit for your screen time? And that is giving you exactly what we're speaking about. They are mirroring what you're doing. Although you didn't mean it like that, but this is exactly what happened. Imagine that in your free time, or their father's free time, he will call for them, come sit with me here. I want to read this hadith, and I wanted to share with me what you mean. What does it mean? Because he's not on the phone, he's with a book. How many children right now, and this is sad, but it's fact, how many children right now in their free time pick a book? If your child does, please tell us so we see that there are some. Let's quickly answer. How many of our children, alhamdulillah, one child, I get one answer. One, alhamdulillah, pick a book. A grandson, 5 years old, pick, alhamdulillah. I have two. If you have one child that in their free time, they pick a book to read or to look at or ask you a question about, just say. So why am I saying that? I tell you, how often do you pick the book? Alhamdulillah, mashallah. How often do you tell them, okay, you know what I read today? I read about this and this. Come check this out. When you do this, they will do it too. But if you want to make them quiet so you can do something and put the video or any media in front of them, what will happen? That this has become their preference. And it's the easy thing to do. I want to watch, right? When is my time to watch? When is my time to play on the device? Exactly, you use Kindle, but what about the books? You are attached to, or do you think it's easy, cheaper, of course, to get the books? But the thing is, if you have children, Muslim children, they are going to do the same. You're using it to read. They're not going to use it to read. They're going to use it to other things. So this is really important. I tell you, watch how you respond when you hear your mother call, your father call? What attitude they see you when you hear your parents call you? This is the same exact thing you will see them doing to you, because this is what you're teaching them, you're showing them this is what's supposed to be. So if you answer with respect, if you answer with being humble, if you answer right away and say, no, this is my mother, I have to go right away because she called me, this is what they're going to do. You call, they're going to come right away. Something else, if you honor their privacy, they will honor yours. If you judge them, they will judge you. If you say, why are you like this? They will tell you, why are you like this? It's always like that. Whether you figured it out or not, it's always like that. So pay attention to what you do, especially when they are around you. Pay attention how long you spend on doing any activity, and that will help you see where does it go wrong. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay. Next point. Boys and girls are different. And therefore, educating boys and educating girls are different. Some of us now will debate, no, I found that raising my daughter was much easier than my son. And another one will say, no, I find raising my son was much easier than my daughter. Another one would say, I had only girls, but my sister had boys, and I see her struggling, but I don't struggle like her, and vice versa. It is different. It is not about easier or harder. It's just different. Where did I get this from? Where did I get this from, that boys and girls are different? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al Imran, when the wife of Al Imran had she was pregnant and she wanted to gift the child to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when she delivered and she found baby girl, and the girl was Maryam alayha ridwan, she said, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنثَى. الذَّكَر, the boy or the male, is not like the untha, like the female. I will give you quick things to think about. An example. So if you would talk more to your daughter, talking will not help with your son. Then what does help with the son? Those of you that raise boys. What helps with boys? Can you exchange ideas so we all learn? One said playing, okay? One said listening, okay? Listening. Be their friend. Interactive and play, mashallah, tabarakallah. As well, messing about, mashallah. So, you know, what are you saying in all this? Jumping and being active, open communication. What you're saying, the main thread, if you look at it, it's that they like more action than words. Exactly, giving them independence, making them take charge of something. Exactly. When you say lots of energy and all that, it means action. It is not easy just to talk to a boy and going to listen to you and say, okay, you're right. I'm going to go do exactly what you did, what you said. They want to see action. This is their way of communicating, like all of you, mashallah, said. Now, the example I want to give you, and this happened when in early time after the Prophet ﷺ. So after the Prophet ﷺ time, there was a Sahaba time, There was the tabi'in time, and there was tabi'in time, like the first 300-400 years. So this story was from this time. So a man noticed that his son gets upset and lose temper very easily. And he wanted to show him this is not good. Talking to the son will not help. As you all see, so here, talking, just giving them advice and telling them stories doesn't help. They understand communication a different way. So what did he advise him to do? He said, son, every time you get upset or you lose temper, I want you to like take a nail and put this wood, like he told him a certain wood piece in the garden. He said, I want you to hammer a nail in here. After the first week, the father said, okay, show me. And it was stuffed with nails. Every time he get upset, he put it. And then he said, okay, now when you manage to control your anger one time, take the nail away. And he started doing that. So now the father gave him a toy. You can do it in any way you like. Something to do together with monitoring what he does. You see, monitoring how he feels. Now this I can control. So when he controls, he goes and he removes the nail from the wood. The father at the end told him, after he removed everything, he was so proud of him, and he said, really good, Joe son. I couldn't believe you could do that. But then he told him something. This is the father's point of view. I could disagree with him. He said, look now, son. Yes, you managed to control the anger. But look now, all these holes in the wood, there is nothing to cure them. What he wanted to tell him was, if you hurt a person because you're in temper, because you lost it, you lost your temper, you got angry, maybe you hurt them in a way that maybe you cannot fix. And he wanted to show him that in action as well. For me, why I disagree with him, because we are taught that there is forgiveness. Yes, you may not forget what happened, but you can forgive. So handling or educating boys, you need to closer into action than telling stories or giving advice or having long conversations. They will work very little. He told his son, like, all these holes in the wood cannot be fixed now. And the holes represent what? Every time when he got upset and he put the nail there, yes, he removed it when he managed to control, but the hole's still there, you see. So again, this is important to understand, and all of us, mashallah, give lots of ideas. So I hope you learn from others who actually manage, alhamdulillah, to do it. Next, okay, alert that I told you, inshallah, maximum stay for an hour. It's 3 minutes before the hour. I understand that you have other commitments. I still have a few things to share. You're welcome to continue with me. As you can see, this session is recorded, so inshallah, I'm going to put it later. So who missed something, inshallah, can still hear. If you stay, you're welcome to stay. Inshallah. Okay, next point. What should I do when my children don't want to read Quran, don't want to listen, don't want to pray? They start resisting. I tell you, learn from few things. First, the story of the man and his son and the nail and the wood. Yes, inshallah, my sister. If any of us can send or the invite from our group to the sister here, because I can't go to the main screen now, I will appreciate it. Jazakallah khairan. Okay, so listen to or pay attention to the story of the man and his son and how they handled it and how he handled it, وإياكم. As well, learn from something I will share now with you. Happened with one of the Sahaba that was teenager at the time, and he will share with you what happened in the hadith. So now, finding the hadith. Look here. So Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu, he is telling us a story. He said, he just turned a big boy, like he's after the age of maturity, he's just turned big boy, and he came while they are praying. The Rasul was praying there, and he was riding a donkey, a female donkey, and he passed right in front of them with the donkey. Not only that, like he was very close even to go between the lines. So what happened? The Prophet ﷺ, not only the Prophet, no one give me any objection or told me you did something wrong or yell at me. Or did he do something wrong? He did. And this is another thing you need to do. Not every mistake has to be highlighted and your children have to be lectured about it. Some you can let go. Not every argument they bring you, you have to argue back. Some you can just listen and you don't have to say anything. So what we understand from all the Sahaba, the Messenger ﷺ and the Sahaba, they didn't yell at him or tell him off because of what he did. That you need to have sabr in varieties of ways. You cannot say, okay, if I let this go now, that will change the future forever. That is unfair, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us time and chance after chance. So we should give other people chance after chance too, especially Muslim children, because remember at the beginning of our talk, our main objective is that they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. They obey him alone. And they know how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So when they stand to pray, they have khushu', they are humble. And that leads us to the next point, which is, if you manage to help them to see how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, and when they listen, they're not actually listening to you, they're listening to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, pay attention to this. Yes, we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered children to obey parents and to have ihsan, excellence when dealing with parents, correct? But if you keep telling them, you have to listen to me because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you have to listen to me, instead say, you listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? When you do what I ask you, it's not me who's giving you the reward, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is going to. You're obeying him. Yes, by obeying me, you're obeying him. You see? And then now they know I go to pray not because you told me to pray. I go to pray because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered you to encourage me to pray, and you're obeying him and I'm obeying him too. Do we understand this point? Okay, what is the proof? It's in Surah Taha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is the verse 132. I'm just going to put English understanding for the verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the Prophet to وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ واصطبر عليها. Order your family with the salat and اصطبر عليها. اصطبر عليها. They translate it in different ways. Look here. Have sabr, steadfast with it. Adhere to it. Be diligent. It's not something you're going to tell them pray today, and if they don't pray tomorrow, that's the end of it. No, you have to continue. And when they say, but when you tell me to pray, dad or mom, I lose the desire to pray. I don't want to pray because now you're telling me. Tell, okay, but I was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to tell you. I'm obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how about you obey him too? What if they come back to you again? You come back again. The verse is telling us something you don't expect at the end of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering the Prophet to order his family with the salat and to have patience and perseverance and steadfast with it. And then he said, لا نسألك رزقا نحن نرزقك. We don't ask you to provide us, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking. We provide for you. So, which means you have to take time. If you're training your child to pray, don't just say, hey, for example, Ali or Ahmed or Muhammad or Yusuf, go pray and you're sitting in your room. No, take him, show him how to wash, show your daughter how to wash for wudu, take him to pray with you and say, okay, this is what we're going to do together. That is your sabr. Don't expect that you're going to tell them do it and they have to do it right away and right after. Even you say, okay, but I said it 100 times. I tell you, still, Nuh alayhi salam kept calling for 900 years. So you still have a credit to fulfill. Don't get tired. Don't lose hope. See, what are you're raising a Muslim child to that has the value of it, the honor of it. So take this as a note. This is Surah Taha, Surah number 20, verse number 132. Okay, we're almost there. What should I do when my spouse, and this is a big one, and I received few responses like through the forum that the husband and wife don't agree on how they raise the children. And in another one, the mother said, or the wife said, the husband actually against me. This is a big challenge. So if you are in a situation that you are encouraging Islam and encouraging Islam principles and encouraging turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the husband is doing the opposite and saying no, this is a big challenge. However, the same thing we talked about before, talking to the child, making them understand, help them with stories, give them the means and tools to look for the answers themselves, because that will make a conflict. Of course, that will cause them conflict. When they see the mother is doing something and the father is doing something opposite, sometimes, maybe most of the time, they will go the father's way. Because why? It's the easier way sometimes. Islam needs patience. Keeping Islam principles and teaching needs patience and perseverance, right? So maybe they will go his way, but you always there to say, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, yes, may Allah guide your father. Make dua for him. May Allah guide your father to the best way. That doesn't mean that you have to follow what he says and knowing it's wrong, but you have to make dua. May Allah guide him to the best and admit him to Jannah, right? So if you have this situation, it's a very challenging one. But again, I will tell you the same I told you before. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts you in that place for a reason. So what you do is surrendering to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, do the best. Don't talk about the father in front of the children in a bad way or mean way. or encourage him to dislike him, or encourage him to disrespect him. Do the opposite. Honor your father, make dua for him, encourage the goodness. One Sahabi, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, has a saying, it's beautiful, and Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu learned the Quran from the Prophet ﷺ directly. He said that he learned 70 surah directly from the Messenger ﷺ. So listen to his words. He said, عود أولادك على الخير. Make the khair, the goodness, habit for your children. Because if you don't make it a habit, it will not be. So don't expect them to be good. Show them what being good looks like. He said, al-khayru aada. Khayr is a habit. Acting with khayr, acting with nobility and dignity and choosing what's right doesn't just come like that. It's a habit. You need to encourage, you need to show it. You need to reward when they do it. You need to advise when they don't do it. So it is now a habit. Al-khayru aada. Aada means what? You need to continue encouraging it. Just like you continue to encourage brushing teeth, you're encouraging saying Bismillah before eating, or eating with your right. You encourage to do the right thing. Your brother did this, so what about you forgive him this time? Your sister did that. What about you teach her how to do it better next time? So you give that seed of khair. What will happen? That seed will grow in a way you don't even imagine, subhanAllah. And it will come back to you. The khair will come back, always. Jazakumullah khairan, my dear sisters. I apologize for taking over the time. As I said in the beginning of this talk, if we talk about or discuss this topic in an educational way, like to teach you or to show you exactly what you need to do in every situation. If we start with what Islam is and what is tarbiyah or education is, that is going to take many of these nights. But the purpose of it is to give you a reminder, encouragement, hope. And I hope that was accomplished. If there was something good, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If something was not well delivered, it's from myself and from shaitan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us from as-salihin, gift us from as-salihin. بارك الله فيكم. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل، ونعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.